There are things I need of you, things you may not understand and may not wish to do, but please, don't make the same mistakes I did. My father Howard deserted me before I was born. I could claim the loss of my mother, and the letter I received after her funeral blinded me to what I had to do. It would be a lie. Human nature sealed my downfall. My name is Philip. If we are lucky, then by the time you receive this, I will be dead. If fate frowns, we all perish. Hello and welcome to Let's Play of Penumbra Ep1. This is the first game in the series by the same people who made Amnesia and Soma. This is their first game essentially. So let's start a new game on normal. My story began in February, year 2000.
For my part in this allegory, I'm not going to make the same mistakes my father made. Howard vanished from my mother's life before I was even in it, so when he sent me a letter a few days after Mum's funeral, it was the first I'd ever heard from him. Pity he was dead. Writing from beyond the grave must be a genetic habit in my bloodline. His letter contained a key, instructions, pleas for forgiveness. I figured the dead don't have much use for absolution, so I turned to his prophetic passing, which he inexplicably expected to come any day. Clearly averse to explanations, my father preferred to leave directions to a bank on Mayfair I'd never even heard of. In that bank was a safety deposit box in his name, and myself as executor. Of course, I went as he knew I would. I discovered that despite the evidence, he'd been legally declared dead almost 30 years ago, and so the old book and collection of notes I found had, in the eyes of the law, been mine all this time. My father's instructions were to burn the documents, raise no further questions. But that was his error. No man's immune to the shameful trappings of curiosity, and my humanity got the better of me. The university I taught at was world-renowned for two things: physics and linguistics. I represented the first, and the man who stood for the second was stumped by my recent acquisition. The book was indecipherable. The notes, however, showed a location somewhere in uninhabited northern Greenland. It took me almost a year to book the last flight I'd ever take. As I watched civilization disappear along with Heathrow, I realised my father had disappeared 3 decades ago, almost to the day, and I considered in turn what it was that I was leaving behind. We landed on a strip of ice a few feet wide, and within minutes I was pulling away on a chartered boat, beginning the 12-hour journey that would lead me into my past.
Finally, we are almost docked. I'd better stow my gear. I might be far from home, but chances are I can still pick things up using left mouse, and I can take a closer look at things using right mouse. Yeah, I don't really like this in-character tutorial, which mentions also mouse and buttons and stuff. So I noticed. Fuck, I can't speak for shit. Anyway, the main character apparently has like a British accent, which I am shit at making British accent. Probably because I watch too much American stuff. Yeah, let's look around. I'm certain this map's a good decade or so out of date, but landmarks don't change much in Greenland, so I've got pretty decent idea of where I'm heading. Here is my notebook. Always good to have a notebook and to join to jot down interesting information and reminders. P. I think I left my torch in the desk drawer next to the bed. It can be opened using my left mouse on it, holding the button down and moving the mouse. Blah blah blah. All the tutorial stuff. Here is a flashlight. Yeah. Now, where's that emergency glow stick? Should still be in the locker. Key is in my inventory tab. Yeah, let's do the tutorial. Let's unlock the thing. And get the stuff. Could come in handy if the torch runs out of battery. That should be everything I need. I want to get going before dark. Anyway, I should be able to access it through my inventory or with the shortcut key G. Sorry. Some extra batteries for my flashlight. And also there is one more thing, one extra thing. There's whiskey. I think it's whiskey. Maybe. Yeah, it's Jack Daniels, obviously. Fisherman wife's love letter. Dearest Eric, just a quick note before you set sail and leave me once again. I've left you a little something to remind me by in the chest at the foot of your bed. I really don't know why you still only have one bed on board. Taking shifts because of it is no way to get your rest. But what does a fisherman's wife know of life at sea? I'll be praying every night for you to make the catch you need, so that you can come home to me safely and soon. Please don't be gone for 5 weeks like the last time. I know I might nag sometimes, but I do love you, you know? I washed those overalls of yours. I know you'll get them covered in what's this word? Assorted fish parts in no time, but I still feel better knowing they had a wash. Before I forget, the Henriksons in the village have asked me to see if you'll be coming by any trout, but I said they were mostly out of season. If you do happen upon any, don't say anything. Style them well in the ice and I'll do something special with them to celebrate when you come home to me. The ship's captain deserves a little special treatment once in a while. Take care, my love. And yeah. From the smell, I'd say there's an equal chance they use the chest for personal belongings or bait. Pretty odorous. Glad I'm getting out of here soon. They must eat and sleep and, well, do everything else in this one room for weeks at times. Anyway, let's get out of here. As I stepped off the boat, setting out into the blizzard that had formed around me, I realized how utterly devoted I'd been to the discovery of my father's past. I had no idea what to expect. Soon enough, my concerns were justified. I don't know whether I lost my orientation or my spirit first, but I lost feeling in my extremities soon after, and knew hypothermia was setting in. I started looking for shelter. So cold, don't know where I am, need shelter soon. My entire head went numb a long time ago, but I can still hear the wild roaring. Okay, I didn't have enough time to read this. If I click and hold the interact button, left mouse, I should just about manage to pick up that rock. The colds made me weak, but I can still throw things. Anyway, I can throw things now. It's gonna come in handy probably. By the way, I should mention that I actually played this game before, but I never beat it, and I played it like a long time ago. Frozen solid must break ice. Let's break ice. I hope to God it's not frozen inside as well. So weak, but if I just use interact mode, oh my God. The tutorial really breaks the immersion. Can't see Ban, but it's my only chance to escape the cold. Let's go in. Jesus, my head. I can't believe I fell that far and survived. Overlooking around, maybe I didn't. What is this place? Okay, I finally was fast enough to read the whole message. A heavy looking wooden barrel. Could be anything inside. Yeah, I should probably use my light. Should probably, since that's a let's play, use my flashlight more. I tend to only use this glowing stick. Empty boxes of ammunition. What is this place? But yeah, that is a steel road I just picked up. And this is a flare. And yeah, I did make like a test play before I started recording, so like I actually played this place already. So I know where all the flares are. And a hammer. Let's see, I can swing this hammer. If I hold left mouse, I can make a back swing by pulling the mouse right and then following through by pushing left. The opposite works too. Pulling back and then thrusting forward produces a stopping motion. I reckon if I hold down right mouse after the back swing, I should still be able to look around. Yeah. Again, tutorial isn't the most immersive thing. Yeah, I can just not adjust, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, can use number buttons, quick buttons to pull out stuff. Like this hammer, which is really handy. Yeah, that's the same thing. Man, let's do this. And let's see what he has to say first. The hole's been boarded up a long time ago. The wood looks pretty soft now. Let's break the shit out of it. And then we go into cave. It's kind of confusing, but it actually loops right here. You can see this is where I came from. Kind of weird that they did it like that. And yeah, here's a fun fact. First, when I did the test play, this thing's actually scared me before. Scared me because I didn't remember that this would happen. So there we go. You skipped a scare because of my test play. Yeah, no wonder I couldn't open the door. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of breeze through this first section, but I actually, when I get to the part where I don't remember stuff, probably gonna get stuck and spend way too much time figuring out stuff. But I do remember what to do here. And I use this steel rod and open the thing. I don't know where this leads or what's waiting for me, but unless I want to starve to death, it's my only option. Besides, maybe this place has something to do with my father. Whatever I was descending into, it was 100 feet below ground, protected by 2 solid metal hatches, located in a remote Arctic wilderness and buried beneath the snow. I didn't know what to expect, but it made me feel something I hadn't felt since I was a child. I've never given it much thought before, but I realized that our entire society is a network of safety nets. Emergency services at the end of a phone line, health and safety in the workplace, friends, family, lovers. All there is if something goes wrong, part of a carefully designed structure to prevent all but the most mundane of emotions. Once again, I felt like I did when I was in school, surrounded by a close ring of older kids. Knowing anyone that might help me, friends, parents, teachers, were too scared or too far away. Yeah. I jotted a note just in case. Let's see it. Let's see the note. The entrance to the cave. Oh my god. I gotta interrupt me like that. There could be anything living down here. Heroics are for Hollywood actors and fairy tales. I'm not taking any chances. If I face off against anything down here, I won't last a second. Caution and stealth are my only defense now. And a hammer. If anyone or anything hears me, I'd be best off staying low and out of sight until I know whether or not it's a threat. Crouching by pressing left control will give me a chance to hide in the shadow. I'll know I've got it right because of the blue tint in my vision, plus I should be quiet enough that I won't be hurt unless something's right on top of me. Better remember to shut off any light sources though. Yeah, they had to throw the tutorial in. My best bet is to hide for a couple seconds or so pretty still. They'll make me properly hidden. Yeah, this game, like that, I'll be virtually invisible, and after some time I should get my night vision back, provided I stay still. Yeah, this game has like a night vision thing system. Basically, if you crouch, you see better in dark with this blue tint. And also, I'm stuck, I'm trapped, I need to get out because, yeah, I didn't actually read that note, did I? The entrance to the cave has caved in. There must be another way out. So yeah, we have no way to go back. And we should probably be careful. Oh, I don't see anything that is alive around. I also remember that there's no enemies yet. And there is a map of the place. So yeah, I can actually use this thing as like a cursor. This is where I am. There's like a door, which I remember being locked, but we're gonna go and check anyway. Storage and office are also options we can take. Probably we'll go to the office because it's closer. The music is creepy. I've jotted down a note just in case. Yep, it is closed, even though it doesn't look closed. I can see right through the thing. Now let's see what is written. I found a locked door in the middle of mine. Yeah, that's what you did. Let's find a way to open the door. I don't actually remember whether you actually open it or like find the way to crawl around it. Probably the latter. Later. Oh hey, it's a bright room. This typewriter dates back even farther than the war, made in Germany in 1923. Yeah, that is pretty old. Oh yeah, and this thing. So, the game never actually makes it clear. It's an old artifact. And that sounded wrong. That was an entirely wrong pronunciation. It's artifact. There we go. It's not fucked. So I click on it, and an old man clutching something unseen. He is strange, and yet he is no stranger. Never seen before, still I know this man before me is Howard. I call him father. What the hell? What just happened? I don't know if that was such a good idea. Yeah, it even says, like, it's not a good idea to use this thing, but it actually saves game. It's a save thing. What is it? Backstring. Why do I need it? Is there a clue? 15th August 1945. Yeah, I'm gonna read a lot. I'm gonna read everything out loud. It doesn't matter that my English pronunciation is not perfect. So deal with it. Commander Bunker, Emergency Airstrip Zulu, Weekly Report. Another unremarkable week in Greenland. Regular supply shipment received, standard emergency drills carried out, routine runway maintenance completed. I have ordered maintenance be carried out twice weekly from here on in due to increased snowfall. One wounded. The one wounded figure is no cause for concern back in London. The Germans haven't extended their front line by 4,000 miles. Two of my men were caught manufacturing cherry bombs in our workshop/armory and succeeded in blowing up a couple of fingers. I take partial responsibility for this. In that I allowed them access to the demolitions manual we keep in storeroom, and I'm sure that that's where they learned the ingredients. As a precautionary measure, I have now locked up that manual in the chest in my office and will keep the key on my person at all times. Needless to say, both men had been disciplined, and the injured man has been sent home for medical care. I cannot help but think that a more suitable punishment would have been for him to stay out here, but the matter is out of my hands. This base is so disconnected sometimes. I feel as if this war could end and we might not even hear about it out here. Supplies requisition order. Dynamite for excavation purposes. 7 bayonets, not necessary in my opinion, but procedure states we should have a full complement. 1 industrial ice pick for removing the damn ice that forms on the external hatch. 1 pair of reading glasses, category 7C. In order for myself, my glasses are in rather poor state of repair and could do with replacing. Reconditioning of the mine continues to progress. The structure is being fortified from potential bomb damage, and excavation of previously caved in areas is going ahead. 1 point of curiosity is some kind of archaeological find, an artifact buried in the earth and discovered by one of the work teams. Later this evening, after martial duty, I shall take a closer look at the artifact. It appears to be man-made and may have worked parts inside. May have working parts inside. There we go. I shall remove what looks like the front cover and see if I can discover the source of the light which constantly emanates from it. Chief NCO M Major. It's funny, it says it's August of 1945. I'm pretty sure the war was actually over by that point. He mentioned that I feel as if this war could end and we might not even hear about it out here. So yeah, the war pretty sure is actually ended by this point. It's fairly basic work desk. This place must have been converted into a functional office at some stage in its history. But I wasn't actually reading it, I was saying out loud. It's fairly basic work desk. This place must have been converted into a functional office at some stage in its history. There we go. Now I understood what I actually said. So much history in this place tied up in words and left composed. The text on this page is illegible. Pages. Years of damp and cold have dissolved its meaning forever. Yeah, I'm glad I can't actually read this stuff. Look at how much of it there is. I think there might be something in these things. Maybe. I don't see anything. Let's look at the drawers. More text. More things to read. And a key. Okay. Copenhagen Post, Monday, 17th August 1930. Psychotropic deposits at the bottom of Death Mine. Wait, there's a question. Psychotropic deposits at the bottom of Death Mine? Researchers at the University of Copenhagen have suggested that mind-altering chemicals naturally sown into the rock may be the cause of high suicide rates at the Greenland mine. The university, which has been conducting studies into isolated communities, first became interested in the workers in the western lead mine. No, I think it's lead mine last year. They discovered that even taking into account Greenland's naturally higher suicide rate, local figures for the last 100 years were abnormally high at 46 deaths per 100,000 populace, compared to the national average of 29. Our own further investigation accepts experts diagnosed in many of the miners symptoms in common with the earlier stages of paranoid schizophrenia. This has prompted researchers to hypothesize that natural deposits of lysergic acid, a pH4 formula recently discovered to have hallucinogenic properties, may be present in the rocks. Few locals were conducive to interview, but those who agreed to speak had their own explanation. Inuit spirits known as Stavmgite? I don't know. Or is it to use? Is Toongite? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Anyway, this thing live in the mountains. The university is awaiting the results of chemical testing. Studies continue. Alright, anything in here? Some flares, probably. No batteries, that's good too. Anything in these drawers? What's this? It's beef jerky. Nice. Beef jerky. Not without aroma. So probably shouldn't eat it. Another one. The age-old filling cabinet. Okay. It probably is around age-old. Maybe not. Painkillers. That's also probably handy. Oh yeah, I need to use a key. Yep. Even though the dude said that he would keep it on him all the times. So yeah, the Big Book of Explosive, 1923 edition. How long is it? 5 pages. Let's read it anyway. Chapter 1.3, Black Match Fuse. The black match fuse is one of the oldest, simplest and most reliable fuses used in modern pyrotechnics. It is easy to create, essentially consisting of just string and gunpowder. But be warned, the chemicals concerned will stain clothing, and as always, due concern is advised. Materials required: string, preferably cotton, black gunpowder, backstring. That's the thing that we picked up there on the table. The string should be coated with a thin layer of backstring which acts as an adhesive. The string is then carefully rolled in the gunpowder and left to dry at least a couple of minutes before use. Chapter 2, Invented by Alfred Nobel in 1866, commonly used in construction mining and the main advantage was discovered by the German Navy, employed TNT's relative explosive stability. In order to cause masculine solar mist to minimize risk to the games, sulfur can substitute for some or all of varying slightly decreased sensitivity. Whew, that was a long one. Hope y'all didn't die of boredom. Anyway, let's give it a save. I may never get used to that. See, that's the only thing he says. And he never says something like, hey, this saves the game. Like you already are breaking the immersion with the tutorial. Oh god, it says something else in there. I can just wait here. Oh fuck, it's so close. Yeah, I shouldn't like look at it for too much, or I get scared. Jesus, I've never been this scared in my life. I can feel my heart racing. If anything gets within more than a few feet of my hiding spot, it better not stay. I better not stare it out. Anyway, I can't stare at the thing because I get scared. Where is it? Is it in there? Fuck. Okay. This is where things get a bit scary.